Welcome to the website of Aronson Antiques in Amsterdam. My name is Robert Aronson. In this little movie we will show you a couple of highlights of items that we will be bringing to the European Fine Art Fair that takes place in Maastricht from March 12th through the 21st. Because of a war in China between the Mings and the Manchus in the middle of the 17th century, no more porcelain was exported to Europe, and the Delft potters stepped into that niche and started to make the wares imitating the Oriental porcelain, right like the dish here beside me. It's one of the largest examples known, and it is marked for the factory called De Pauw, that was in Delft, and this is datable to about 1690-1700. The paintwork on this dish closely resembles that of the Chinese porcelain. In the next few minutes, Suzanne Lamboy, our art historian, will take you through a couple of other highlights that we have this year at the TEFAF Maastricht. Enjoy it!
This basket is made after wickerwork shapes. Baskets were also produced in silverware. In faience it's very rare to find an example because they were so fragile. This is one of the largest examples known, 41.5 centimeters wide, whereas several of the other surviving examples are all of a smaller size. The basket with these beautiful garlands around the borders in relief was made in Delft around 1680. The decoration on this basket with Adam and Eve and the Tree of Knowledge indicates it was more likely a bridal basket. If we take a look at a print in the book on marriage by Jacob Katz, dated 1625, the print of the bride actually shows a basket with textiles in it. This would have been a dowry made by the bride herself, presented to the groom in his house on the wedding day. And this print is particularly interesting because if we look at the left, we can see a centerpiece with Adam and Eve and the Tree of Knowledge, similar to the theme of this bridal basket. This is a very rare pair of flower vases. The spouts you see on the heart-shaped body and on the obelisk top are actually intended to hold flowers. This pair was produced in Delft around 1710, and from the late 17th century a fashion in Delft developed to produce these flower vases with spouts. This was promoted by Queen Mary, who loved blue and white porcelain and flowers, and she decorated her palaces in the Netherlands and in London as well, Hampton Court, with very large flower vases, so-called pyramids. And this is a shape that combines a pyramid and a heart shape. The color palette of red, blue and green with flowering branches is referred to as the cashmir palette, probably derived from Indian textiles. Generally these type of vases are known as tulip vases, but actually they were intended to hold all kinds of fresh cut flowers from gardens. On the heart-shaped bases in the middle is Flora seated holding a cornucopia filled with flowers. Flora is actually the goddess of flowers, and it's very appropriate to decorate these flower vases with this figure. This small teapot is actually of great importance. We refer to this as black delftware, of which only 65 pieces are known around the world. The rarity is the black ground, which imitates Oriental lacquer. It was extremely difficult to produce. The black color often failed in the oven, and this example is beautifully decorated with tiny flowering branches. Its small size, you would wonder if it is a teapot or how it would have been used, but actually it's a tasting pot. It would only contain a small amount of tea, and a hostess could offer various blends to her guests so that they could select the one they wish to drink, or she could actually take the pot along with her to a shop in order to try the tea she would like to buy. Tea drinking became a popular pastime from around 1680, and it required fashionable utensils made of Chinese porcelain, lacquer, red delftware or this very rare black delft, and it would heighten the oriental sphere surrounding this exotic beverage. Black delftware was produced from around 1690 to 1720, and this teapot is probably dated to 1710. You might wonder what these two objects are. They were made in Delft in the early 18th century, and they're actually water dispensers for birds. When filled through the hole at the front with water and then turned upright, the air pressure will keep a constant water supply from which birds can drink. On top you can see birds related to the function, and the sides are decorated all over with hunting scenes, ranging from man shooting duck to horsemen chasing deer, and the rarest of all is actually the depiction of duck decoys. The water dispensers are marked APK. The A is for the Greek A factory in Delft. PK are the initials of Peter Cox, who was the owner in the period of 1701 until 1703, and then followed by his widow until 1722. To conclude our TEFAF highlights, this is a very impressive tureen cover shaped as a goat with a boy. It was intended as a centerpiece on a table, and it's one of the rarest pieces known in delftware of this size. Various smaller tureens have been made, but only one other goat tureen of this incredibly large size is actually known. This tureen cover was intended as a centerpiece. It's modeled so that you can look at it from all angles, and only when you walk around the table and you see his face or the goat or the other side, you can see how wonderful modeled this example is. Although this tureen is of very impressive size, it's not life-size, as you can see, but we refer to this group as Tremblay Ceramics, imitating figures, animals and fruits. Tremblay, known in the fine and decorative arts, literally translates as fooling the eye. Tremblay ceramics were really popular in the mid-18th century during the Rococo era, and were also produced in French, German and English porcelain and faience.